Maybe we're like the new Critical Role or whatever. We're just wacky and we have adult humor.
If only we had their numbers.
That's true, yeah. Hey, that's it. Adult humor time, everybody. We're becoming new Critical Role. Critical Role, Tabletop Misfits 2. How do you get Critical Misfits?
Tabletop Roll?
No, Critical Misfits. We're way better.
We're just spitballing
We're just spitballing. Hello again, Misfits. It's time for another Under the Lid, and today we're taking a look at Freelancers, a Crossroads game. Now, this is by Plaid Hat Games, and I love these guys. They have a game called Dead of Winter. You might have heard of it. They've actually done a few of them, but they're a zombie survival game. Now, you know, I know you haven't heard of those kind of games before. However, this was a little bit different. This is a board game, but it had a lot of heart. It had a lot of story to it. A lot of stuff happened in the game. So it wasn't just about surviving the zombie apocalypse. It was almost like playing your character too, because there was a lot of nuances to the character you played and a lot of cards that would affect certain characters. So for example, I played like a truck driver in one of them, and I would go around and everybody had kind of their own mechanic. But one of the crisis cards that came up was basically I was trying to get medicine because my trucker had a heart attack. And basically, I ended up dying from a heart attack because they didn't want to rescue me in that zombie apocalypse game. And I thought that was very interesting and very cool because a lot of zombie apocalypse games, like how many do we play? A million of them, right? And it's always, you kill the zombies and you all survive together. But this game was kind of a mix of Galactica because there could be a traitor, not because they were evil Cylon, but because they like just really had an addiction and loved alcohol. So they would murder everybody for alcohol, or, you know, they always had some kind of something that would make them turn on everybody else because that happens in real life. It was a very, very cool thematic game. It was
What does that have to do with this game?
So what does that have to do with this game? Exactly. So in their Crossroads game series, it's a game where you're doing things, but you have a lot of investment in character and RPG kind of themes and mechanics in there. In this one though, however, there's actually a dungeon master, and before you groan, an app is required to play. It does run the game for you. However, as long as you're fine with that, which you should be, because I hate to break it to you, apps are great for games, especially when they're done right, and I have no doubt this is done right. But you're in a fully voiced game where you go through hundreds of branching paths in a replayable campaign, and you build your own unique character. And I mean, it's not overly complicated. You can pick up and play and kind of jump in, so the mechanics are not going to bog you down. So it gives you a gameplay, kind of an RPG light experience where you can really get into a character, but really also just play a board game. So you get that RPG flex, that RPG feel, like when my truck driver died from a heart attack from eating too many cheeseburgers. And I was like, that's just a cool way to go, you know?
Death by cheeseburger.
Death by cheeseburger in a zombie apocalypse game, right? How often does that happen? Just that game. But you're still playing a board game, so you don't actually have to invest all the time and pain in an RPG game and not have everybody show up every week like they're supposed to play your RPG game and can do it in one sitting, where you have that same flavor and can just be done. Although this is a continuing. I don't know why, Misfit Tom. Why would you say that? Anyway,
I think for every campaign that petered out on your end, there's a campaign that didn't start on our end.
We're not going there. We're not going there.
Dresden game.
Shh, quiet. Anyway, so this is the rule book. Of course, it goes through how you play the game, obviously, and that's random. And a map of pipes. But this is fully voiced and narrated. Narrated by Derpy, actually. He loves that. He is super excited by the narration for this game. So you can see we got a lot of cardboard here. We have game master, bookkeeper, cartographer, medic. These are different character classes, I would imagine, and different tokens to keep track. It's totally going to come out here. Influencer, I would love to be the influencer. So this is a D&D kind of esque game. However, it's not like D&D. You have a lot going on, and you actually are in space and stuff. You can go into the stars.
There's space?
There is space. Woo! Yes. Actually, the whole campaign.
But there's dragons.
But there's dragons. You actually go around and do things. I think you go to space. Correct me if I'm wrong. I thought you did go to space. You go around and travel on a map. Maybe not. Maybe you don't go to space. Maybe I'm wrong with the space thing. Forget the space thing. I remember there being something about space.
The box is kind of like a robot.
I mean, kind of, yeah. It looked kind of sci-fi themed, but I think maybe not. Maybe it's just fantasy themed. So no, it is not.
That's the next one.
Maybe that's the next one. Actually, that would be really awesome. because there is very sci-fi-esque themes to it. I love the cool art in this. This is actually just really very action-esque, very cool looking. It looks actually almost video game-ish. But yeah, you go through and you have different locations you go to. See, there's like kind of modernish stuff in here a little bit. Although I do like the treasure chest monster. It's like a golem. Treasure chest golem. That's pretty cool. So you go through and do these different campaigns. I don't want to spoil everything, but you go through each of the different branches of the story, and that's your location book. Kind of reminds me of My Father's Work a little bit. Which I haven't played My Father's Work. A+ game, but we're not going to talk about that now. You have different character pads here. Mouser, Elf, Warrior, Barbarian. So you have different character pads because you're going to keep track. You actually get stats and you upgrade and you move along. Pretty cool. You keep track of the stuff you get. You have different gear. Let's go ahead and open this gear on up. I am stoked to play this. This looks like a lot of fun.
You have to do it quick because I'm running low on battery.
Oh no! All right, I can't open that one. We're going to try to open this one. There isn't a whole lot left.
Just show the cards.
Okay. Shield of the Charmed. So you have different gear you get for your character. All your stuff is represented in these cards or whatever. So you have different character, different companions, and different stuff you add to your retinue as you go along. You have different maps, of course, to keep track of stuff. It also has a backside here. Keep track of your threat level, your wounds, stuff like that. Very, very cool game, and I like where they're going with this. Last but not least, you have your dreaded dice. Bane of my existence. There you go. 20-sided, should look familiar. 12s, 10s, 4s. I like the color they're going with here on this one. That's very kind of 70s, 60s color palette, you want to say? Wasn't that?
It's old school.
It's a very old school palette. I like it. And then your bag, obviously, for your
dice.
Yeah, a bag. Nothing on the bag, but just a bag. So this looks like a lot of fun. I'm going to have a ton of fun with this. I mean, if you want to get involved in an RPG-esque game, this looks like the way to go. I'm all for app-driven games, honestly. I think it's been a long time coming. And when done right, believe me, it saves you a ton of time on setup. And, I mean, how else are you going to fully narrate your own game by a ghost? I mean, like, how, right?
Yeah, and everybody can play. You don't need a DM.
And everybody can play. You don't need a DM. So they don't yell at you when you kill their favorite character off or put them in an impossible situation. Anyway, this has been another Under the Lid, guys. Thanks for showing up. As always, of course, tread lightly. Don't piss off your DM. And as always, game on.